betting on brackets, NCAA tournament, you can say goodbye to your busted bracket because FanDuel lets you bet on every game of the NCAA tournament, whether you're betting on a big upset or a 1 seed. It's time to go dancing on America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets if their first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to use on point spreads, money lines. You can even pick who's going to win it all. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS and bet on college hoops until they cut the nets down. And shout out to our guy Darren Smith from Kansas City for a winning ticket yesterday. He bet on the Kansas Jayhawks.
Nice.
In a multi-part same-game parlay, turned $10 into $344.34. He had over points and rebounds for 3 separate players, plus over assists for DeJuan Harris and the KU money line. And Darren turned $10 into $344. So shout out to Darren, who also is a great lead into our first topic of the day, Bull.
And 2 things. Number 1, Darren was all over you and G. Bush the other day, especially
he agreed with me.
He agreed with us.
He didn't.
Yes, he did.
Wait, about what?
You lost that one.
You lost that one.
About what?
You were so lost in the soup that even Darren, who came back to confront you, you misread it again.
You misread it.
What? Wait a second.
Wait, what happened?
Hours.
That is
crazy.
He said that you said that the Chiefs did not have a good roster.
We're not going to dive down into this again because
but I want proof that Darren agreed with you.
He said Patrick Mahomes is it. It is the deal. You got Patrick.
He said I saw the disrespect. I'll be blah blah blah. What are you talking? He said you and G. Bush were reckless.
Read the last text. I said it's Mahomes. It doesn't matter what else you have. And he said, yes,
Darren, don't forget who was the only one. Blah blah blah. I never forget. I saw the whole conversation. End of the day, you got Mahomes. You don't need much else. That's not agreeing with you.
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness.
At the end of the day,
no.
Oh my goodness.
That's what Mike said. That's what Mike said. That's not what Darren said.
What did he say?
We're not going all the way back to go.
All right, forget it. By the way, I was right about the Oakland thing. The coach has been there 40 years.
Okay, it is
Oakland. And they were Division II when he first started, and he never won a NCAA tournament game.
And their player had 10 threes yet. It was
how many did he finish with that kid?
10. He had 32
points.
No,
total points.
32 points, 10 threes, 2 free throws.
Boy,
incredible.
Game 6, Clay.
Did you see our guy John Fanta?
The best.
Did you see this?
Go ahead.
So what's her name? The Red Panda? You know that woman?
Yeah.
Who
gets
all
the tournament.
Who does all the
she
plates?
flips the cups on her head.
Yeah,
that woman.
She
dresses up. Anyway, John was part of her act. He was out there like a wrestler. Encouraging the crowd to make noise.
He did it last year. It didn't go well.
Really?
So he got redemption this year. That's why he was so excited this year, because his first time doing it at the Big East tournament with Red Panda last season did not go well.
What happened? She dropped something?
He said he threw it from a bad angle. It wasn't the right toss. He held it against himself for an entire year.
Oh, man.
So this year was a redemption tour for our guy, John Fanta.
And then she hugged him at the end.
That was a great moment.
That was so cool. Hey, this dude... Hey, man, he got that mojo right now.
He does.
He got that juice.
There was a great article on John in the New York Post, if anyone wants to read it.
Really?
Highly recommend it.
I did not see that. I got to read that. John's awesome.
Hey,
all right, go ahead,
Mike. Post. Dang. Let me hold 40.
Yeah, no, he got...
What?
He's
News
doing big
Nation.
things. All right, speaking of big things, speaking of Darren Smith, on Good Morning Football the other day, Jason McCourty, who's one of their regular panelists now, was asked who the biggest threat to the Chiefs are in the AFC. And here's his answer. Steve, take tag board full.
I look at this AFC North and you guys are talking about the Baltimore Ravens, and then obviously in Cincinnati, Joe Burrow's coming back. He's the guy that has been able to take down this Kansas City Chiefs team back in 21 on his way to a Super Bowl run. I'm going to answer this question. I'm going to say potential when it comes to this division. And I'm going to talk about the Cleveland Browns. Wow. I feel like for the second straight year, we're talking about what their potential is. But we saw something about the Cleveland Browns last year that I think was special. This is a team that, Shregs, you emphasized it all season long when we started talking about Coach of the Year with Stefanski, because this is a team where their offensive line was beat up. It felt like guy after guy was going down with an injury and somebody else was going to have to step up. We watched the star of their team and Nick Chubb go down with a gruesome injury in Pittsburgh early on in the season. We watched Deshaun Watson get banged up and have to play through different injuries. We watched a rookie in DTR come in and have to win games. PJ Walker had to win games. And then eventually they signed Joe Flacco off of the couch. And this was a Cleveland Browns team that was playing on the road in Houston for a playoff game. Yes, they didn't win, but you learned something about your team when you have to go through that level of adversity. Now, this offseason, they go and they make a trade for Jerry Jeudy to be opposite Amari Cooper, a guy that he grew up watching and trying to emulate his game after. Now they have Elijah Moore in the slot. Nick Chubb hopefully can get back to where he was. But then Jerome Ford as a backup showed what he can do. So I look at this team in Cleveland, and Jim Schwartz comes in as a defensive coordinator last year. Myles Garrett becomes defensive player of the year. They have so many guys on that side of the ball to go and get a veteran like Jordan Hicks at that linebacker spot. To me, the Cleveland Browns could surprise a few people and potentially say, hey, we have a seat at the table and maybe we can do some things and we can get healthy and get on the right track. I look at.
So Jason McCourty says the Browns, the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC. What say you?
You know, before we answer this, I have to address something first real quick. And it's the fact that, and Tyvis knows this. Tyvis is a good guy, so he wasn't involved with this nonsense. But when you're a professional athlete, you have women all over you whenever you want, right? When you're a professional athlete. It doesn't matter. You could be the ugliest guy on the face of the earth and you're getting women, right?
That's a fact.
Right? Doesn't matter. You could, I saw it in minor league baseball when I was doing the lowest level of minor league baseball, where 6 of the 100 guys I did games for made the majors. So only 6, okay? And only 4 were like real major leaguers where they played for a long time. The other 2 had like 2 at-bats in the majors. And even the ugliest guys in A-ball were getting women. Jason McCourty has got to be one of the best-looking guys I've ever seen. And I'm confident in myself enough, and I'm not uptight. I know half of you are like, oh, my God. Earl especially. He freaks out with that type of stuff. He's getting all uncomfortable. Jason McCourty, can you imagine what girls he was getting?
What do you mean was?
Well, still. This guy is ridiculously good-looking. It's disturbing.
Didn't Jason McCourty play for us?
Yeah, Devin
He
McCourty.
did.
No, it was Jason.
No, Jason
For
played
1
1
year.
year in Cleveland,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he got a brother that looked like that too.
They're
Huh?
twins.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they was out there.
Devin played for the
You think they've
Patriots.
traded?
They've been tag team champs.
Wow, you been here? Wow.
Oh, my God.
Y'all
All right.
y'all
Are the
hilarious.
Browns, because the rest of you are so uptight and uncomfortable, I'm moving on. The Browns, Earl's so uncomfortable, he's awkwardly laughing backstage.
I mean, you
right
did
now.
segue. You didn't go. I was going. We had the answer in the button.
I know.
We was like,
how could I ignore that Jason
judges.
McCourty may be the best looking man in football? I can't ignore that.
Hey man, you did.
I'm impressed.
You get mesmerized a little bit.
I
You
am.
good?
I'm mesmerized.
You straight?
I'm impressed.
Mesmerized?
All right.
That's what you might be pushing it now.
Are you buying what Jason McCourty gave a good recap of? I mean, it was a good argument for why the Browns are the number 1 threat to the Chiefs. Are you buying what he's selling? Are they the number 1 threat? And if not, where would you put them?
I would not put them. I like what he said. Everything he said is a fact. I'm not buying that they're the number 1 threat. I'll put them at number 2. I would definitely put the Bengals at 1 because they've done it, and they, with the offseason moves that they made, I still think that their roster is good enough to still beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But the Browns, they can be right there. I think the biggest thing for the Browns last year is that the attitude and the way that they went about playing teams that are seen as top in the NFL, the way they attack those teams, it let them know, like, hey, we belong on this stage. We can compete with y'all. If you think about when they lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs, what was that, 2-3 years? When was that? Whenever that was. It
was 2020. It was the COVID year.
Whenever that was. They were right there in a game.
Mahomes did miss part of the
game.
Yeah.
But they were right there. So it wasn't like they were that far off. And it lets me know that Kevin Stefanski actually does have a good play calling style that he can actually put them in position to win those games. So now you add Jim Schwartz to that with what he's done defensively. They have what it takes to beat the Chiefs. They could dethrone the Chiefs off the AFC. They just got to stay healthy, and everything has to come together with all the moves that they made, with guys getting healthy and with them getting Jerry Jeudy, and you need Darius Smith to step up. But my number 1 thing, if I had to pick right now as a number 1 threat to the Chiefs, I would have to go with Cincinnati because they've done it, and they've done it consistently.
G. Bush.
You know what? I'm going to say, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, bro. Like, the Bengals is right there amongst teams, right? They get Joe Burrow back. The Browns played really well against the Bengals and Joe Burrow. You look at the Ravens; they've taken a little step back, I think, defensively. When you look at the situation, I look at it and I say to myself, what you need to really be worried about is the fact that if the Browns start clicking, if they get this offense together. See, the Browns, they've been running an offense where it's like, okay, we just want to keep it ball control. But we've seen at the end of the year what the offense can be when people is locked in. The worst thing that can happen for people is Deshaun Watson actually stop caring and get back to what he is. If he get back to that mojo and get back to what it is and start living in that swag and getting in his bag, then the Browns is a different type animal, because I done seen what the defense can do. I done seen what Amari Cooper can do, and I like the moves that they made. And shout out to the Browns, man. Operation Stockpile, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my cohorts, my generals, my lieutenants. They didn't listen to what they said. Operation Stockpile has been a success. They going to get running backs now. They getting receivers now. They going to get coaches, Tyvus. They got kick returners. Listen, they bring every free agency been over, and they still making moves in the AFC North. Deontay Foreman, guess what? Love the move. Now we was worried about the short yard back. We didn't have Kareem Hunt back again. Now we got that. Now Hines we even brought back Pro Size, aka Coach Cheese. We even brought him back. So we ready to go. We ready to go. Operation Stockpile. We still getting people, bull. Still getting cats. I say yes.
Yeah. So you say yes. I got the Browns fourth.
Wow.
Third.
I was about to say.
I meant fourth.
Who came on comments like I got the Browns 14th?
Fourth was including the Chiefs, but we're trying to beat the Chiefs.
Okay.
So I got the Bengals 1 and the Bills 2. Well, here's
Bills.
why. Josh Allen.
They just lost a lot.
They just lost people.
Yeah.
They still got Josh Allen.
That's all they need.
He's half the problem.
I think that's baloney. All right. I think, in my opinion, Josh Allen has mostly played great in the playoffs.
He hasn't beat them yet.
I'm aware.
How could you say that?
Because the games they've lost to the Chiefs have not really been his fault.
This last year they wasn't.
It wasn't his fault they
look
lost.
At it. I gotta look at it.
How about the game where they won? They lost that crazy game back and forth.
Oh, he was lights.
That's fantastic in that game.
That has been his. That's literally.
If Deshaun Watson would have had home field advantage and you lost to Patrick Mahomes,
bro,
you'd be killing him.
Listen,
he was at home.
We hang our hat on that one performance by Josh Allen. He ain't did nothing remotely close since
this year. In this year's playoff game,
if you look at his history in the playoffs, he's been really good. Now, he hasn't played great every game. Has he done better than every other quarterback? Deshaun Watson played like 2 playoff games.
He's not done better than Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I got Joe Burrow. No, that's why I got the Bengals 1 and the Bills. Plus, here's the thing that you guys kind of forgot about. Is the AFC North is the toughest division.
Yes.
So it's going to be hard for anybody in the AFC North to end up with a better record than the Chiefs and have home field advantage.
I just don't see them losing. They even lost.
They lost
one of their best safeties.
We had the same record as them this year, as the Chiefs.
And the AFC North is going to be even better.
The Ravens had a better record.
I hear you.
They lost.
But who's more like the Bills are in a weaker division, are they not?
The Bills.
So they're more likely to win more games.
The Bills.
I don't know how you guys could be apoplectic. The Browns haven't won a playoff game in 3 years.
I don't know.
Josh Allen's won plenty of playoffs.
The Bills lost their best safety.
Yeah.
The Bills lost their second receiver.
They lost their corner.
They're done because they lost
yes,
3 great players.
Yeah, 3 playmakers.
Great. Gabriel Davis is a great player.
He's the second
just the guy.
That performance that you talk about, Josh Allen, he was a big part of that.
He killed that game.
Yeah, he had like 3 catches for 3 touchdowns.
So what do you think? They're going to stink this year?
No, but they're not going to be that good.
I completely disagree.
I'm just not big. I'm not on the Josh Allen.
What did he do in that game?
Yeah, well, go ahead.
Against the Chiefs this year?
At home, yeah.
He had 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, 186 passing yards, 72 rushing yards.
See, that's decent. I mean, the 3 touchdowns is really good, and the no turnovers part is phenomenal for him.
In his playoff career, this is just passing. He has 21 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Okay.
I mean, you could tell me he's not good in the playoffs?
Hey,
I'm telling you where he's been.
21 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
No AFC championship games.
Nobody's got it besides Mahomes and Burrow. I got to pick a third team. How many AFC championship games the Browns got?
Not very many.
None.
Same amount as the Bills.
So
Deshaun Watson got some first-round wins.
he's got one first-round win. Deshaun Watson's won one playoff game.
And how many? What's the name of them one? Josh Allen 2?
No, he won a lot more than 2 playoff games.
Josh Allen's played in
5
10 playoff games, so he's
won
5-5 in the playoffs.
Listen, it's not good enough, but who's been a more reliable quarterback the last 2 years, Allen or Watson?
I'll give you that. Listen, he's been
Allen.
more reliable. I'm just talking about
That's
the
it.
roster. If you look at the Browns roster, you look at the Bills roster, the Browns roster stepped up. The Bills roster took a step back.
I agree.
We
with
don't
that.
judge teams solely on what they did in free agency.
Yes, you do.
They do.
A little, yeah.
That's it.
To start the season.
That's it.
They lost. I'm talking about the people that I saw. They lost playmakers.
They
These are
lost
starters.
one playmaker.
Gabe Davis,
He's
Jordan
just a
Poyer,
guy.
and Trey
He's
White.
We're going to go nuts about Gabe Davis?
He got how much money
He's
he get in free agency?
What, they can't replace Gabe Davis?
They
Are you
signed
kidding me?
They signed Curtis Samuel, so that's the swap. You went from Gabe Davis to Curtis
Is
Samuel.
that much of a downgrade?
Go Bucks.
Is that much of a downgrade?
No,
on
that's
Gabe Davis?
it's an upgrade because it's
Jordan,
a Buckeye. Go
Jordan
Bucks.
Poyer was a captain.
That's on defense. That has nothing to do with playmakers on offense.
I mean,
Wait a minute, defense. So defense ain't important.
They got a good running back. Josh Allen is at worst the third best quarterback in the league. No? At worst.
Who you putting second? Oh, Joe Burrow.
Either him or Burrow are the second best. I would. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. You put whatever you want. You guys are talking as if the Bills suck and have done nothing.
All I know,
I'm
I'm saying that the Bills lost players that are starters.
All I know
But
is
they still had a really good team and won a lot of games last year.
That's like, watch this. If you say the Browns lost, Amari Cooper.
No, they didn't lose them. They didn't lose their best receiver.
Okay, well, say the Browns never. Well, Jerry Jeudy is the second best receiver now.
Okay.
Say they just never made that deal for Jerry Jeudy.
Okay.
We'd be going crazy because you ain't got a second receiver. You out here looking crazy. Then you lose. Say you take Delpit out the mix. He's gone. And you got a corner.
So what?
They lost their starting corner. Say we're not gonna say Denzel Martin Emerson.
I think you're blowing that up bigger than it is.
What?
To me, when you have the quarterback, that's the most important thing. You're always going to lose a few pieces. That's going to happen sometimes.
To overtake the Chiefs, not happening. You can't lose.
I didn't say they're going to beat the Chiefs. I said that I'd give them a better chance than the Browns.
Yeah, they can't. Listen, you can't lose at home to the Chiefs and then get worse.
I don't know. I think I personally. What was the score to that Chiefs-Bills game?
They had the game to
It
win.
was
And you don't know-
27-24. They missed the
Gee,
game-tying field goal
you can't
from
mention
38 yards.
3 players and say they're going to be worse. We don't know who they're going to draft. You're ignoring the players they've added. We don't know their roster of defense. Like
I know who
other
Jordan
teams.
Poyer is.
Okay, so they lost
I know who
guys in
Gabe
the secondary.
Davis. Gabe Davis was one of the top receivers.
Mike, when did Gabe Davis become? All of a sudden, nobody wanted Gabe Davis when we were talking about free agency. Nobody. Nobody here wanted him. Now it's a big deal. The Bills
You want
lost
to hear
him.
Gabe Davis' stats in that playoff game?
Yeah,
0 targets, 0 receptions.
0.
Can you tell me how much Gabe Davis got in free agency, Mike?
He got $39 million. They replaced him with Curtis Samuel, who got $26 million.
Go Bucks.
There it is.
So you're saying that the difference between Curtis Samuel and Gabe Davis is going to make the Bills significantly worse on
No,
defense?
because
Come on.
Curtis
On offense?
Samuel is much better than Gabe Davis.
Well, I don't agree with you.
Go
but still,
Bucks.
I think they're the same level of player.
He does more.
I like to. Here's the thing.
He does more. You could use him as a running
mean,
back. You could use him as a.
The Bills won a playoff game last year, did they not? The Browns did not. You guys are looking at me as if I'm nuts. I think
I didn't say you
I
was-
think if you ask first of all, if you ask neutral fans, who's more likely to beat the Chiefs?
They would
the
say the
Browns or the
Bills.
Bills. More people would say the Bills than Browns, and you guys are looking at me like I'm out of my mind.
No,
Mr.
we're looking at you like you out of your mind because you're completely dismissing the fact that they got rid of some players.
It's crazy.
And you're dismissing the fact that right now Josh Allen is way better than Deshaun Watson.
You
That's fine.
you love quarterbacks.
What matters more?
I mean,
all I know is you tell me Baker ain't that good, but they went toe to toe with the Chiefs 4 years ago.
Okay, Patrick Mahomes missed half that game.
So what?
And Tyvis, by the way, like Baker Mayfield beat Joe Burrow. Is he better? He has a winning record against Burrow. Is he better than Burrow?
so
Don't ask me that question.
so the Bills. Listen,
You know how I feel about winning records and quarterbacks.
Yeah,
the
and it's
Bills
crazy.
The Bills lost their center, Mitch Morse, who was a Pro Bowler in 2022. Jordan Poyer, who was the captain and one of the best defensive backs. Tre'Davious White they lost as well, and they lost Gabe Davis. Like that's
a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Who'd they add?
Curtis Samuel.
Go
Bucks.
Who you got? Damn, they released defensive back Siri Neal.
Oh wow, how was that one?
Naeem Hines. We got him. We pillaged him. For Naeem Hines.
Play for them. He was hurt last year. What are you talking about?
But
He didn't play.
That's a diamond in the rough, though.
Listen, if you guys disagree, that's fine. But I can't believe you're looking at me like I'm nuts.
It ain't crazy.
It's not nuts at all.
It's equivalent. Like you can say that. Joe,
I got their whole list, G. You want the list of players they've signed?
Yeah,
yes.
Give me them list.
So this is just ESPN. Some of these include re-signings. But
Yeah.
All right,
they
Thomas, get
re-signed
ready to downplay
Teron
these.
Johnson. They made him the highest paid
Forget
nickel.
the re-signs.
It doesn't sort re-signings versus signings.
All right, go ahead.
Curtis Samuel.
Go Bucks.
They re-signed DeQuan Jones, re-signed Deion Dawkins, their left tackle. They brought in Ty Johnson as a backup running back. They brought in Mac Hollins as a third receiver. Nicholas Morrow, a linebacker, unfamiliar with him. Cam Lewis, excuse me. I'm not sure who he is. Mitch Trubisky is a backup quarterback.
Oh wow, they're really getting it done.
They signed Taylor Rapp to replace Jordan Poyer.
Okay.
Tight end Quentin Morris, defensive end Casey Tuhill, guard David Edwards, and punter Matt Hawk.
That's the best free agent class I've ever seen.
I have
boy.
no idea.
All
I know
cold.
is
they cold. They
still have their best quarterback. They still have their best running back. They still have their best wide receiver, and they have a young tight end that showed a ton of promise last year.
Would you say that Diggs kind of took a dive towards the
He did.
season?
There's a little concern there.
And he's short and slow. But if you come to the Browns, he's a playmaker.
Who's short and slow?
Take Diggs.
Diggs ain't slow.
Diggs like an 88 speed. 88 speed. Come
Give
on,
me no
Tyler.
I gotta know what he ran.
on,
He
Tyler.
a 4-4 guy.
By the way, we all ignored the Ravens. Is that fair?
Yes, because they need to address their defensive end concerns.
Well,
So who
and
and
the
they
truth
need, and they
is
need a
Lamar
receiver.
Jackson, for the most part, has been awful in the playoffs.
Listen, by the way,
What are his playoff numbers, Mike?
fool's gold?
Lamar Jackson, 1 sec.
His
numbers have been awful.
And they lost
I
some
think.
people, too.
What's he won? One playoff
They need
game,
a
two?
receiver.
Lamar Jackson. So Josh Allen has 21 touchdowns, 4 interceptions in 10
at the
games.
same time.
Lamar Jackson in 6 games has 6 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Oof.
His record is 2-4.
And the most messed up part about it is they run the air raid package in the playoffs only.
And they seem to
5 wide with Lamar Jackson.
they have no answers for the Chiefs. They never play well against the Chiefs.
No run game. They abandoned
That's
the run
because
game.
they went from what they were supposed to
That
do.
was such a dumb game.
The defensive game plan was ridiculous. They went to zone. They've been a man-to-man team the entire year. They
Yeah.
went to zone, and Patty just picked them apart.
I'll tell you another team.
Picked them apart.
I'll tell you another team we left out. That's got to be in the mix. Are the Houston Texans.
Yeah, we've been disrespected.
Now the question is with C.J. Stroud, does he have that second year, that sophomore slump?
Of course he won't. Go Bucks.
No, it's coming. Listen,
You don't think there's any chance?
No.
He's gonna have a sophomore slump.
No,
Real.
He
Really?
gonna take over and become. He gonna be a top 5 quarterback after
he's
this season.
he's very good. Listen, he's really good. But they got a playbook for him. They got a program for him. They last year they outcoached us. There were some pieces and parts they had. Listen, when they had Nico Collins on Greg Newsome,
They didn't even
in
have
the
Tank
slot,
Dell last year against them.
and Tank. Listen, it was devastating. Like he was getting tap danced on. You working with your mans? He was getting killed by
Who?
Nico Collins.
Genu?
Yeah.
I told you the one play.
Yeah.
You know what though? Like I said, you know what the difference between the rest of the season and that game was? It's the pass rush.
Yeah, it wasn't no pass rush really.
The pass rush kind of died for the Browns.
it wasn't no pass rush. They gotta get better. I hope they got the tape on that.
Alex Wright was literally the bright spot at like December to the rest of the season.
They need to figure that out. But I will say this though, we just really put dirt on the Dolphins too.
Yeah, I don't even consider them at all.
They
lost the line. They lost.
I would go. My top 5 threats to the Chiefs in the AFC would be.
Yeah, everyone give me your top 5, then we'll move on.
I go Bengals 1, Bills 2, Browns 3, Texans 4, Ravens 5.
Damn. What about you?
I'm gonna go with first and foremost. I'm gonna go with the Browns. Second, I'm gonna go with the Bengals, but it's a virtual tie on that one for me. Third, I'm gonna have to agree with Bull. I'm gonna go with these Texans, man. Texans. And then fourth, I'm gonna say this. I think the Jets gonna be all right next year.
Damn.
I think the Jets gonna be all right.
I forgot all about them. Then they just got Mike Williams.
Five.
I can't put the Chargers there. They done lost everybody named Mom. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll say this. I'll say the Steelers.
Damn, you're not even going to put the Bills in the top 5. All right.
No. Sorry about that. Bills 5.
He completely out.
We got him.
Hold on.
All right, what's your top 5?
Let's not get it twisted.
Top 5.
Cincinnati, Cleveland, Bills, Texans, Jets.